Hey, Mr. Zam here, and welcome back to another episode of FTB Oceanblock. For today's episode, we are going to be pausing on making some singularities, for I would like to dive into mechanism, like deeper into mechanism. So, we have to fight the Chaos Dragon, right? And like in the near future. And so I kind of want to prepare for that. And so I would like to make a mech suit. Yes, mech suit is really a powerful armor, kind of like an endgame armor set. And yeah, with mech suit you can literally cheese the Chaos Dragon fight. Yep, and so we're going to do that today. But before we craft the mech suit, there's a lot of things that we need to do first, and one of it is diving into nuclear power, or like nuclear in general, with mechanism. And so yeah, we're going to be producing some fissile fuel first before we get the polonium. Right, so before we do that, let's do a little recap first. So yeah, this one right here. I have finally automated our draconic fusion crafting, right? So the only thing that I've auto crafted is the the power pots, right? Remember this one uses the draconic evolution crafting mechanic, right? And so yeah, I have auto crafted them, for I feel like we're going to be using that probably in the next episode, right? So what I did here is this one is in single item mode, so we don't have to worry about multiple items in one draconic crafting fusion injector. So I have them on single item mode. So whenever we craft one of this power pot, remember this one has 4 cast iron blocks, so we don't want to put 4 cast iron blocks on one draconic fusion, so that's why single item is necessary. I have this on whitelist, so this core will only accept the Hopper Botany pot, power pot MK1, MK2, and MK3. I also put an auto crafting for the draconic one with this one right here, the draconic core, right? So that is all good. So yeah, I have this on. I added in as well some logics so that we don't have to worry about those annoying redstone timers. So it's the redstone power, or like the activation of the crafting, is dependent onto this controller that we have. So let's do a little sample here. Oh yeah, by the way, in order for us to power this draconic fusion crafting injector, I made use of this draconic wireless energy crystal, which is connected to this draconic energy input crystal, which is using our mycelial one to kind of like generate power to our draconic fusion injectors. Now if you take a look at, let's see, the wand or the binder itself, we can see, yeah, the connections. So again, this one is powering the crystals, right? And then this crystal right here is powering all of the draconic fusion crafting injector, and as well as the controller itself. That's why we have this like middle thing. So yeah, that's the thing. Now if we take a look at this thing in action, so let's say power pots, craft me one of the MK3, I guess. So give me one of those. Oh yeah, I don't have any blocks of mana just yet. Let's just get one MK1, or maybe 2 MK1 power pots. Please don't fail me. Please don't fail me. Okay, yeah, we'll just have to wait for the other stuff, for the other components to be crafted. As you can see, it should start powering. Hello? Yeah, there are some times, I don't know why, but the prioritization being ignored by this controller. So sometimes, as you may have noticed earlier, it kind of like inputted the cube first, even though this one is on a lower priority. Right? So yeah, that's kind of like downside here. It ignores the prioritization, so that's not cool. But yeah, once we craft this, and let's just see what's going to happen. So yeah, this crystal right here is powering the draconic infusion injectors, and yeah, look at that. So I do hope the second iteration will work. No, it did not. Overall, this one is fully automated, or not really fully automated. Sometimes it's fully automated, sometimes it's not. But yeah, so we got that up and running now. And I was noticing that our MS ticks is kind of like jumping back and forth to 30, sometimes to 20 MS ticks. And yeah, I had to deal with that one. And so what I did is I removed most of the pipes and just made use of PAWA energy cables. For this one, doesn't really kind of like lag, I think. I'm not sure, but yeah, pipes can sometimes lag your world. And for this setup that we have, I made use of a controller to do the logistics of these machines right here. And then I've isolated our orange network transmitters so that whenever I flick this lever, everything will be disconnected. And I can only see the stuff what's inside of our disks, and as well as our singularities there. So yeah, kind of like a good way to manage your storage very well. What else? I didn't do much in between episodes, for I am really busy. I'm about to make a factory actually, and so I added this mini setup so that we can have some creosote oil running in the background, and then we're going to be using that creosote oil to get us some treated wood planks, which I'll be using that to build a factory. For really, the treated wood planks blends really well with the whole factory theme that we're about to build. Yeah, I think I'll do this in a time lapse, I guess. So yeah, but yeah, let's move on first to the goals of today's episode. So if we take a look at here, main goal, again, Fissile fuel production, for we do want to get the mech suit. Then for the sub goal, I'm not sure if I can do this today, or maybe we could put another sub goal, which is to create the fission reactor. I'm not sure if we do have the time. But for the miscellaneous, collect quest rewards. I do have some quests in here. So we have the coke brick, we have the speed module, as well as the auto feed module here. And then I crafted most of the tier 5 seeds. And then for the end game, I do have the tesseract singularity with me now, and pig iron ingot singularity, and as well as the refined obsidian singularity. So let's collect all of them. Niotic one. Okay. Ooh. Plain striders. Shash. Queen slime. Cobalt. Osmium. Okay. Okay, so I think I would like first to do a time lapse of me creating, maybe not the whole factory just yet, for I feel like I don't have the resources or enough resources to finish the factory, but maybe like the facade of the factory first. So, yep, I'll see you in a bit. And our factory is done. Let us now move on to the next agenda of today's episode, which is Fissile fuel production. So, I'm planning to put my Fissile fuel production in this spot right here. Now, before we do that, I would like to tell you first on what is the plan for this factory that we have right here. So again, this is where the Fissile fuel production is going to sit. And then this one right here is where we will be putting the fission reactor, right? And in this mini spot right here is where our polonium production will sit, and beside of that one is where the turbine is going to be sitting, this one right here. And then for this part right here, this is where the 2 thermal evaporation plants, right? The reason being is we want to have lithium, right? And so the lithium production is going to be right over here. And then this space that we have is, we're going to be putting some induction, I think that was an induction cell. Yeah, like an induction thingy from mechanism in this spot right here. So this is our entrance. Yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. So now that that is done, let's move on to the agenda of today's episode. I have all of the things necessary to create the fissile fuel. We need 3 chemical infusers, 2 chemical oxidizers, 1 rotary decondensator, 1 chemical dissolution chamber, 1 electrolytic separator, and 1 isotopic centrifuge. Then in order for us to do the logistics of this, we are going to be using XNet for this. The first thing that we need to put is a chemical infuser in this spot right there. And then beside it is the electrolytic separator. And then the right side of this chemical infuser is the chemical oxidizer. And then on the bottom of this chemical infuser is another chemical infuser. Let's remove this. Then below this electrolytic separator is going to be the rotary decondensator. And then on the right side of this chemical infuser is going to be a chemical dissolution chamber. And then beside this chemical dissolution chamber is another chemical infuser. And then on top of this chemical infuser is a chemical oxidizer. And then on the last spot is going to be the isotopic centrifuge. Something like that. It should be the nozzle, like kind of like the input of this isotopic centrifuge should be facing to the left. Because we're going to be auto-inputting or like auto-outputting the infused chemical straight into the isotopic centrifuge. Okay, so that's cool. Right, so now let's put the controller on this area right here. Right? Then let's go to the back. And then make a little space here, for we do want to connect them with some connectors. Just like so. I think you don't have to worry if it's advanced or not. I'm just using advanced because it has a faster transfer rate. Okay, so by the way, let's not forget to name them. So this chemical infuser is going to be for the sulfur trioxide, I think. Yes. So sulfur dioxide, yeah. So this one is sulfur trioxide. And then this one is sulfur dioxide. Right, and then this one is oxygen. Right, and then this one is air, what you call this? Steam? Hydrogen, water vapor. This one is water vapor. Then this one is sulfuric acid. And then this one is hydrofluoric acid. Right? And then this one is the this one right here, the uranium hexafluoride. Uranium hexafluoride. Yes, and then this one is for the yellow cake. Or uranium oxide rather. So uranium oxide. And then this one is the fissile fuel. Alright. Alright, so then let's power these guys. So let me get some, probably I'm going to be needing some interfaces. And then let's get as well a fluid interface. This one right here. Right, so now that we have connected that one, let's see. You know, it might be best as well to have like a link or kind of like a wireless, this one right here, wireless transmitter, so we don't have to keep running back and forth. All right. Okay, cool. So now that we have that one, let us, I think this one should be water. So water out, right? And then let's not forget to put stack upgrade. Alright, so cool. And then we're going to be putting water to the electrolytic separator and as well as the rotary condensator. Oh yeah, let's not forget to put flux point. So that one, and then cube. Maybe cell. So something like this. So this one should be energy. We should be extracting from this dimensional cell, and then insert to machines that needs power. So you, and you. All right. Okay, so I think we have power to all of them now. Cool. Alright, so then we need water for this one. Next, XNet fluid, and we should be extracting from the, I think this is the fluid interface. Right, extract, and then insert to the water vapor, and as well as to the oxygen. So yeah, that should start producing now. By the way, do not forget to put this on deconcentrating so that we get the water vapor. Right, so we're getting oxygen now to this chemical infuser, and yeah, I think I'll configure that after this. Okay, you know what? Just for the sake of you guys not getting bored, I will do the logistics of all this machinery, and I'll just recap to you on what are the things that I've done. So I'll see you in a bit. That did not take that long actually. So what I did here, let's first talk of how I configured the sides of this machines that we have right here. So all of them are pretty much auto outputting to the necessary machines. So again, this chemical infuser needs oxygen and as well as sulfur dioxide to create sulfur trioxide. So for the oxygen, we have this electrolytic separator producing those stuff. By the way, let's put this on dumping excess. Then chemical oxidizer for creating the sulfur dioxide, right? And then the sulfur trioxide is being auto outputted to this another chemical infuser. And in order for us to make the sulfuric acid, it needs the sulfur trioxide and as well as the water vapor. And so if we take a look at the configuration of this, the input 2 is accepting from the top, and then the input 1 is accepting from the left, and then the output is going to the right. So we have the sulfuric acid. Now we need the hydrofluoric acid, and so the dissolution chamber will just accept from this machine that we have right here, and then we have this extra, which is the fluorite at the back. Let's take a look at the back here. This one, we have configured the interface to have the sulfur dust, fluorite, and as well as the yellow cake uranium. The yellow cake uranium is pretty straightforward. You just need to enrich the uranium ingot. So I have that one auto crafted, and that enrichment chamber that we have there. And yeah, we have that processing. And this one is water to provide to those guys again. And then, right, so we now have the hydrofluoric acid. Right, so we just have to auto output that to this chemical infuser. which will infuse the hydrofluoric acid and as well as the uranium oxide to create the uranium hexafluoride, which the chemical, or rather the uranium oxide, is coming from this chemical oxidizer, which is turning that yellow cake uranium to uranium dioxide, or uranium oxide rather, right? So then this chemical infuser will auto output to this isotopic centrifuge, which will create the fissile fuel, right? So it's not running at the moment because I disabled the power. So now if I enable this again, we are now generating the fissile fuel. By the way, this is generating, I think, 16 millibuckets per tick, because I have upgrades to them as well. I have upgraded them as well. We have the muffler and as well as the speed 4. So I think this is creating 16 millibuckets per tick. Right, we could pump that one to 32 millibuckets per tick if we just add one more of the speed upgrade. But yeah, as you can see here, we are getting the fissile fuel now. Really cool. Now, the only missing here is the output of this isotopic centrifuge, and I feel like we can make use of the entangloporter, which I have that one pre-crafted as well. And since we don't have, not that one, since we don't have any more access to force-loaded chunks, we will now make use of the entangloporter itself. So if we take a look at the anchor one, this one right here, it says here, keeps a machine's chunk loaded. Right, so since we're going to be putting an entangloporter onto the bottom of this isotopic centrifuge, for again, that's how we will going to be wirelessly transporting our fissile fuel to our fission reactor right over here. So yeah, with that entangloporter, let's just make use of anchor upgrades as well, so that this chunk right here will be loaded. That's pretty much it for this fissile fuel. You know what? Let me craft the necessary stuff to make the fission reactor. So that is going to be our sub goal for today's episode. Instead of automating 2 more singularities, we're going to be crafting, rather we're going to be making the fission reactor today. See you in a bit. And not long after, we now have probably all of the necessary items to create the fission reactor. So let's destroy a tiny hole. Let's make a tiny hole here. Something like so. Alright. So then, let's put, this is a 5x5 by the way, fission reactor. So, a fission reactor casing on the very bottom. Something like so. And then we'll have something like this. Okay, let's make more fission reactor casing. Probably 32. Right, so let's put first the fuel assembly. So I'm planning to have a burn rate of 30 millibuckets per tick. It's not fast, but it's not slow as well. So yeah, maybe a 30 millibucket burn rate will do the trick for us. So again, this one should be in a cross or like checkered board pattern. Something like this. So this is going to be a tall fission reactor. Just like so, and then on the very top is going to be the control rod assemblies. Right, so then reactor glass. Maybe just a 9 or like a 3x3 vision of the inside. I think that's fine. So then let's grab our fission reactor casings. Maybe let's just fill everything. Something like so. Right, by the way, let's not forget to put the ports first. So I only need 3 ports, or probably just 2 ports. We need 3 ports for the nuclear waste, for the steam, and as well as for the water. So for the water, or like rather for the steam, I do want to output that one from here. Right, and then on the very top, probably like somewhere here, it's going to be the steam. And then for the nuclear waste, probably I'm going to put one in the bottom. Somewhere here. Probably here. Yeah, something like that. Or, you know what, probably something like... probably here. Alright, cool. So then, let's move this one in the middle actually. Right, so you. Same goes to this one. Fission, something like that. Right, so let me cover this and then I'll be right back. Right, so we have completed our fission reactor. And so I guess we'll just stop here for now. But as you can see, we have a maximum burn rate of 30 millibuckets per tick. So yeah, well, I think I'm going to stop here for now. There's a couple of things missing in here, and I kind of do want to just talk about all of it in the next episode. As for now, this fission reactor doesn't do anything whatsoever. But yeah, in the very top, we actually need 4 ports now that I think about it. On the very top is where we're going to be putting our quantum entangloporter. Something like that. By the way, let's not forget to get the configuration card. Oh, that scared me. Again, configuration card. Let's use the configuration of this. And then click on this. Alright. So now, this should be output. So now we should have Fissile fuel. Set. I'm not getting any Fissile fuel. Oh wait, because I forgot to put on eject. There we go. We're getting the Fissile fuel now. Cool. So yeah, I do have a plan for this. Okay, so we're not gonna be using pumps to constantly feed this with coolant, but instead I'm going to be using like a closed loop feedback. Closed loop of water to steam to water. And yeah, I'm going to be talking that one in more detail in the next episode. So for now, yeah, this will be it. I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe as well for more contents like this. By the way, guys, if you want, again, a world download for this, hit me up in the comment section below, and I would gladly share this world to you guys. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next episode as always. Have a nice day. Peace out.